You know, there's a lot of uncertainty in the marketplace. We at CNBC and our guests talk about it all the time. But sometimes there's really big what-ifs that we need to concentrate on the most. And the biggest what-if is if wages push higher than productivity. That's a biggie. On Friday's report, when we saw year-over-year wages up 3.1%, I had Ed Lazier, former chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors under George W. Bush, and he framed it just in that regard, that wages moving up is a great thing as long as productivity keeps up with it. The problem is that as we continue, in my opinion, to get good wage numbers in the future, it's not going to be what if. Many investors are going to trade it as though it will. It will push higher than productivity because productivity is one of these things that's going to take time for us to get the metrics right. And I think that's a big deal because it presents both an issue that will price something maybe not as accurately as it could, but it'll also afford investors a wonderful opportunity. The other what if is very similar. It has to do with central banking and our Fed, and that is, of course, what if the Fed continues raising rates and or normalizing and removing stimulus? Because in my opinion, they are the antagonist right now with regard to the economy, and I don't think that's quite right. Certainly, they may be moving a little faster than many would like, but there is a very good reason for that, because their predecessors moved way too slowly, and their counterparts are hardly moving at all, although there needs to be an asterisk there. Whether it's Europe or Japan, they are starting to get the idea, and when their capital is mispriced because of their monetary policy, they will pay a price. Finally, it is election day, isn't it? And I don't want to weigh in on politics. I only like to weigh in on markets when politics weigh into the scenario of pricing. But one thing I think I would like to say, that is there have been some big global movements that many don't seem to pay as much attention to as they should. Many issues seem like they're intrinsic to the U.S. They're not. So whether it's Tea Party, whether it's Brexit, whether it's what's going on in Italy, to me, that raw nerve is the collective versus the individual. And you could frame it any way you want, and you could think about which party you think represents which philosophy. But in the end, people are looking inward. They're not so enamored with globalization, and don't underestimate how that will play into this election as well.